Love is not a gentle emotion. It is an earthquake of the soul. It tears through illusion, through identity, through the fragile walls that protect the ego from truth. Most people believe love is found in harmony, but real love begins in disruption, because nothing exposes the unconscious more completely than intimacy. When two people meet, their conscious minds exchange words and gestures. But beneath that surface, their unconscious minds begin to speak a language far older and far more honest. They recognize one another by pattern, not by logic. They remember each other through instinct, not history. This is why love feels like fate, because, in a sense, it is. It is the meeting of two psychic fields, each carrying the unhealed past of generations, each searching unconsciously for what was lost. Every attraction is a mirror. Every heartbreak is a revelation. Every bond is a bridge between what you know of yourself and what you have refused to know. When you fall in love, you do not meet a person first. You meet your own reflection. The beloved becomes the screen upon which the psyche projects its forgotten parts, its beauty, its shadow, its longing. If you idolize them, you are worshipping the exiled light within you. If you despise them, you are meeting your own darkness. Either way, what you love and what you hate in another are both roads back to yourself. But few are ready for such confrontation. The mind desires connection, while the unconscious demands revelation. And revelation is rarely comfortable. The moment you allow someone close enough to see you, they also touch what you hide. Love begins as warmth and soon burns as purification. It draws the buried pain to the surface so that it may be healed. This is why relationships are not only emotional bonds, but psychological crucibles. They are where the persona dissolves, where the polite self can no longer pretend, where truth begins to take shape through friction. When you say you love someone, you are not only saying, "I see you," you are also saying, "I am willing to see myself through you." Few realize this when they speak of love. They want comfort, not consciousness. They want certainty, not reflection. But love cannot stay innocent. It is not designed for safety. It is designed for transformation. In the beginning, love feels divine. You are intoxicated by recognition, lifted by the illusion of completion. But this divine state is temporary. It is the psyche's invitation to integration. The beloved awakens your inner opposite, the anima or animus. If you are masculine, you meet your inner feminine through her. If you are feminine, you meet your inner masculine through him. You feel whole because you have touched your own missing half. But what begins as union must eventually turn into conflict, because what the unconscious reveals, the ego resists. The beloved, once divine, becomes infuriating, confusing, unbearable. They stop reflecting only your light and begin to mirror your shadow. Now, love becomes the teacher. Every irritation, every disappointment, every wound becomes an echo of something deeper. You are not angry at them. You are angry at what they make you feel. You are not betrayed by them. You are betrayed by your own expectation. You are not afraid of losing them. You are afraid of losing who you believed you were with them. Most relationships fail because people mistake projection for connection. They fall in love with an image of themselves reflected in the other. When reality replaces that image, they call it falling out of love. But in truth, it is falling into themselves. The work of love is not to preserve the projection, but to survive its collapse. To see the other as they are, not as your unconscious wishes them to be. To stand before them without fantasy and without defense. Real love begins when illusion ends. The shadow side of love is not evil, it is necessary. It is the fire that burns away dependency, possession, and control. It teaches that love is not ownership, but awareness. Not merging, but meeting. When love awakens the unconscious, pain will surface. Old wounds will reopen. You will feel emotions that seem disproportionate to the moment. Jealousy, rage, despair, obsession. These are not signs of failure. They are signs of contact. The soul is touching what was never healed. You may blame your partner for these emotions. You may try to fix them or flee. But what you are truly facing is yourself. The other is only the catalyst. If you have never faced abandonment, love will show it to you. If you have never faced control, love will challenge it. If you have never faced unworthiness, love will expose it. In this way, love does not break you, it unmasks you. When two people are conscious enough to understand this, love becomes alchemy. The relationship becomes a vessel through which both souls are refined. Pain becomes revelation. Conflict becomes communication. Distance becomes reflection. But such love demands humility. You cannot remain a child expecting to be completed. You must become an adult, willing to see and be seen fully. When you love consciously, you realize the beloved does not belong to you. They are a mirror temporarily given, a living symbol of the parts you must reclaim within. When you find those parts, gratitude replaces attachment. Love becomes freedom. The unconscious uses love to call you home. Every person you have ever loved or lost was a messenger. Each carried a piece of your unintegrated self. When the message is received, the attachment dissolves naturally. This is why some connections fade with peace rather than pain. But when you resist the lesson, love turns into suffering. You cling to the image instead of the insight. You beg for the person instead of receiving the revelation. True love is not found, it is remembered. It arises when the inner union between masculine and feminine begins to heal. When the opposites within stop fighting and begin to dance. Until then, love will remain a battlefield, a sacred one, because only through friction does awareness sharpen. The shadow side of love is what makes it holy. Without shadow, love would remain fantasy. With shadow, love becomes truth. And truth, once seen, changes everything. You no longer seek to be loved to feel whole. You love because you are whole. When you reach this place, love ceases to be a need. It becomes a state of being. You meet others not to fill emptiness, but to share abundance. Not to escape loneliness, but to celebrate presence. In that sacred maturity, intimacy no longer threatens you, because there is nothing left to hide. The unconscious has been revealed. The shadow has been seen. And what remains is love, not as desire, but as awareness. Love is the mirror through which the soul recognizes itself. And when you finally see that, you understand. The one you loved was never separate from you. They were the face of your own awakening.